biggest conflict between Israel and Hamas in decades began on October 7th, and it includes airstrikes, ground invasions, hostage-taking, and the potential to escalate into a global conflict. As with all significant conflicts involving America's allies, whether the A10 Thunderbolt II will get involved has surfaced. There is a rivalry between these two American aircraft that dates back years. The F-35 Lightning II, the most adaptable and intelligent fighter the world has ever seen, is vying for the title of the most deadly beast in the sky, and the A-10 offers close air support unlike any other. The A-10 versus F-35 conflict might be resolved once and for all in the Israel-Hamas War. Two competitors from two very different generations competing for close air support are Thunder and Lightning. Glory, the F-35, is a 5th generation stealth fighter that entered service in 2015, but the A-10 has been in service since 1977, meaning there is nearly a 40-year gap between the two. The F-35 gains advantages over the A-10 due to these. Despite decades of technical advancements, the A-10 was always a cutting-edge attack aircraft, especially when it came to close air support. It is the only American aircraft ever designed specifically for this purpose. It is equipped with an offensive suite that allows it to drill metal more quickly than a caterpillar, defense armor that extends its life beyond that of a cat, and an avionics suite that gives it enough intelligence to be mistaken for a Tesla product. The A-10 assault aircraft is the only one that may be used in any operation that calls for covering troops. Its primary armament is a 30x 173mm G8 Gatling type Avenger autocannon that was created especially for the Warthog. With its high muzzle velocity and exceptionally high rate of fire, the G8 cannon fires 3,900 massive depleted uranium rounds per minute that are capable of penetrating armor. Additionally, the AGM-65 Maverick air-to-surface missile is fitted to the A-10. The Maverick missile, which is guided by infrared and electro-optics, can hit targets at far longer ranges than cannons, reducing the likelihood of the A-10 being attacked by anti-aircraft systems. The A-10 also carries a variety of more recent weaponry, including cluster bombs. GPS and laser-directed bombs such as the GBU-39 small-diameter bomb are fired by Hydra 70 rockets. Bombs from Paveway series, combined frontal assault bombs, and wind correction for munition bombs. Along with that, weapons of mass destruction, AGM-154 combined standoff A9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles and glide bombs. The A-10 supports this potent attack with an equally potent defense, as being so near to the battlegrounds guarantees that everybody and anything with a weapon will be firing continuously. The A-10 is equipped with 1,200 pounds of titanium aircraft armor, with a multi-layer nylon spall barrier covering the interior area that comes in direct contact with the pilot to prevent shell fragmentation. This allows direct strikes from the 23mm gunfire to be avoided by the A-10 and its pilot. 57mm pieces of shell, powerful explosives, and bullets that can penetrate armor. The aircraft also has a mechanical backup system in case the hydraulics fail, as well as 2 redundant hydraulic flying systems. The result of these in an A-10 that continues to fly even with 1 engine, 1 elevator, half a tail, and half of a wing shot off. The F-35, on the other hand, is designed to be as versatile as possible, earning a spot in almost every kind of mission, including air-to-air warfare, ground warfare, and sea dominance, along with air superiority in almost every aspect. Building such a flexible fighter was no easy feat. Even if the F-35 development program is still the Pentagon's most costly program to date, with a projected cost of $400 billion, the F-35 is presently in service by the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. Like every other 5th-generation fighter, the F-35 is mostly dependent on its stealth characteristics, which its maker, Lockheed Martin, took care to enhance to astounding levels. It is the second most advanced fighter in U.S. history, after the less adaptable but more formidable F-22 Raptor. The F-35's manufacturers straightened its edges, serrated its skin panels, and used an easy-to-maintain fiber matte surface for minimal observability, while designing the vehicle with stealth in mind from the very beginning. Additionally, they employed stringent controls over radio frequency emitters, minimized infrared and visual signatures, and allowed radar waves to reflect. All of these measures helped to prevent aircraft detection and contributed to the F-35's incredibly small radar cross-section, which is smaller than a metal golf ball. A single Whitney F-135 low-bypass enhanced turbofan capable of producing 43,000 pounds of thrust powers the F-35. Following the burner, this engine propels the jet to a top speed of Mach 1.6, which is significantly faster than the Mach 0.6 of the A-10. However, the A-10 counters that by pointing out that close air support aircraft like the A-10 are rarely used at supersonic speeds because they are typically battling slow-moving ground troops or infantry. The A-10 and F-35 began to compete in 2014 when the Air Force informed a Congress full of retired personnel who had either piloted or been saved by the A-10 Warthog that their much-loved fighter was no longer capable of withstanding modern combat and should be retired to free up personnel and $4.2 billion in funding for the F-35 Lightning II that would replace it. Congress's ardent support for the Warthog reached a fever pitch as they insisted that the Air Force demonstrate that the F-35 could successfully replace the Warthog. Additionally, Congress gave the Air Force the mission to modernize the Warthog to its full potential to give it a fair fighting chance. The V-12 lightweight airborne recovery systems, which enabled A-10 pilots to communicate more effectively with ground personnel like rescuemen and pilots whose planes had been shot down, were one of the many upgrades the Air Force gave the Warthog, to the point where they had to be added to different suites at different times. Another upgrade that eliminated the need for A-10s to fly into attacks before taking a shot was the longer-range standoff weapons, which indirectly made the F-35's attack-evading super maneuverability seemed like a needless luxury for close air support. Suite 9 had an integrated situational awareness pad that allowed the A-10 to assess targets to avoid inadvertently shooting at friendly aircraft and get digital location data from JTATT staff rather than having pilots manually look for them on the ground. New pilot helmets called the Hybrid Optical-Based Inertial Tracker, or HOBIT for short, improved the accuracy of the A-10. The helmets have a mounted sight that reacts precisely to the pilot's head motions, and Suite 10 and 11 updates completed the package. These were some of the updates that the A-10 got to stay current with the times. While the US Air Force appears fixated on retiring the A-10, the aircraft seems to be going nowhere soon, with the possible exception of Israel using it to fight off the Hamas insurgency. Many would argue that the upgrades weren't necessary because the A-10 has always had far better close air support than the F-35. Its more lethal cannon and defensive armor prevents it from being shot down. Couple that with the fact that the F-35's design is focused on higher-end battles that make the fighter unable to fly or loiter as low as the A-10 can. The A-10 is the finest tank, and Russia possesses the world's largest tank fleet. The world's busiest airplane was probably a contender to be one of the planes the US may send to help Ukraine during the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. Israel and the US are close allies. The US sent the USS Gerald Ford, the world's most powerful aircraft carrier, and an entire armada of ships to the region hours after Hamas launched its attacks on Israel to defend Israel if any of its allies, including Iran or Lebanon, made the mistake of joining the conflict. In addition to the carrier and supporting ships, there are rumors that the US may also send the A-10 to aid Israel in its battle against the Hamas force, which is primarily grounded. The A-10 would undoubtedly be useful to Israel in such a conflict, so these rumors are not entirely unfounded. The A-10s have been in the Middle East for a month, but the Air Force has not made any formal announcements indicating that the planes will soon be entering Israel. While there is debate over whether the A10 Thunderbolt II is the greatest close air support aircraft in the world, or if the F-35 is superior, it has been saving lives for over 50 years now, and may do so once more in the current Israel-Hamas conflict. Alright everyone, this concludes our video. Do make sure to like and subscribe, and do comment below on what video you would like for us to do next.